As we grow, we can increasingly find ourselves working with clients who are rolling out projects across multiple countries. One such client is Shell Asia, currently working across 8 countries to roll out more than 1,000 retail sites. Our challenge with Shell is to design and deliver one consistent standard wherever we are. Needless to say, Shell is a very important relationship client to the firm. And to share some insights into how the relationship is travelling, it's my pleasure now to welcome Carolyn Taussig and Andrew Hume, joining us by satellite from Shell's global headquarters in The Hague. Carolyn, let's start with you. What's your role at Shell?
Hi, I'm the General Manager for Engineering, and broadly speaking that's global functional responsibility for the maintenance and construction of our retail service stations. That's about 12,000 sites on a global basis, covering about 20 countries.
Now Andrew, tell us about your role in the group.
I'm the General Manager for Property for Shell Retail for the East. So that's covering about 5,000 service stations and across 10 countries across Asia. So the role is developing the strategic footprint of our service stations, starting with the strategic plan, where do we want to put the service stations, and then managing it from cradle to grave. So that's from acquiring the land, building the service station, maintaining it through its life, and then closing it down and cleaning it up before disposing of it or selling it at the end of its lifetime.
Caroline, can you tell us about the design issues that you're facing on a project of this scale?
I think from a construction perspective, the thing that concerns me, or I guess has got a lot of focus, is around total cost of ownership. So it's not just about the delivery of the cheapest site, it's about delivering a site to the ground that is going to cost us the least and deliver the best proposition to our customers over its lifetime.
We hear this term safety by design. Can you give us some insight as to how Shell achieves this objective?
I think a couple of things. I think the real focus moving forward is to look at how we can undertake our activities and drastically reduce the exposure hours for our workers. So that's really going to take a lot of foresight into the way that we design our stations, as well as the way that we program the construction activity. I think another thing, or some real success that we've had from a design perspective, is some initiatives around things such as the telescopic canopy, which has been rolled out to pretty much the whole construction program for Shell Asia, as well as things like modular build. And what does this do? This drastically reduces the exposure hours for our workers and the high risk exposure hours, such as working at height. And this has been done in a really neat way, where it's reducing the construction time. Therefore, we can open our sites earlier and pump volume earlier. So volume is money. So for me, they're some of the ways that we can really embed that.
Has the retractable canopy been used anywhere outside Asia?
No, I think it's something that we're really interested in looking to roll out in other places of the world. For example, in Europe, we construct a canopy at ground level and then pull it up by a crane, but really see the work that SKM has done and been able to get the principal contractors on board with as leading in the world. So congratulations for that.
Andrew, I imagine it must be a nightmare dealing with the regulations in all these countries. What are the issues and how are you handling them?
In terms of managing the program itself, the number of steps, the number of licences, the number of permits we need at different government levels, and that vary between different states in some countries, has always been one of our greater challenges.
What about finding the right people with the right skills and the resources in these areas?
As we've moved through the outsourcing journey, our skill set has had to change very much from doing things directly to managing the relationship with SKM to leverage the benefits of both parties.
Andrew, there must be the odd social and cultural issues that you're dealing with working across Asia?
Indeed. And this manifests itself most obviously with HSS&E. So if we look at the social norms for HSS&E in the countries we operate in the East, they're far below what both Shell and SKM aspire to. So if I use an example from India, at the first construction site in India, people turned up with buckets and bare hands ready to excavate a tank pit, to give you an idea of the starting point. So yes, a key challenge to us are the social norms of the place in which we work.
Now you've worked in all these regions, where are you going next? Is China on the horizon?
Definitely. China's a big focus for us globally, and I guess like a lot of multinationals, it certainly forms an important part of our growth strategy. We're already present in China through about 6 minority joint ventures, and we have several hundred service stations there, which is a start for China, but certainly a big focus for me and my colleagues moving forward.
So Caroline, you've got a big job to do ensuring quality and design in all of these different areas. Can you give us some insights as to how you've gone about achieving that quality?
I think we've got loads of process around this. So the short answer is that I could get out a manual and show you how we assure things, and to a certain extent that's successful. I guess the real challenge for us is that we've become very effective of agreeing things at a central level as to the sorts of quality that we want in the end product. The challenge for both Shell and SKM is really getting that embedded at the ground and delivery level, because we still see variances when we go out, and a lot of that is based on the personal relationships at the market level. So some success and some work to do in that area.
Caroline, you mentioned the importance of relationships. How important are relationships to the Shell organisation and to you personally?
I think that the relationship, certainly in the engineering space, has evolved over the last 5 years as we've moved to this outsourcing journey across both maintenance and construction. And I think that we're really moving from a supplier type relationship to a partnership model. And what do I see from that is that we're getting a lot more than the end product. So we're getting a better quality, we're getting things faster, cheaper. We're also getting pushback from our partners to look at different ways of doing things. So some really valuable insights and working practices that are coming out of these relationships.
Andrew, if I could ask you the same question, how do you value relationships in a project this size?
To be honest, with relationships with service providers, we live or die by the success of those relationships. We've been on an outsourcing or a partnering journey for about 4 years now, to the point where we know we have a really strong skill set that we'll never outsource, and that's around our strategic planning and network planning. But we've outsourced construction, maintenance and property management. So we have enormous trust and an enormous amount at stake in managing these relationships. Does it mean that we are brilliant at managing those relationships? No. But does it mean that that's a singular focus for us and really the key ingredient of our success? Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you both, Caroline Taussig and Andrew Hume, joining us from Shell's headquarters in The Hague.
Thank you.